Prizes
A big
go. Whoa. Whoa. Dog, how are you gonna resurface?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Whoa.
welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. You are tuning into the Morris Report, and I will tell
That's
you
fucked
what.
up.
Boy, howdy, do we really have one hell of a show ahead of us today. First off, ladies and gentlemen, all hell has just broken out in the Middle East with a never-before-seen bombing campaign literally set to kick off against the Iranian regime any moment now. We're going to be breaking all of it down today. What's more,
So you don't want to walk, dog?
the current Democrat 2028
You little
presidential front runner, yes, you've heard of her,
Hey,
just
dog,
came
remember
out
the
today and
saying, no
admitted,
pain, no gain.
really, to being a
You
communist.
fucking piece of shit.
Ironically, a threat to democracy, as the Democrats themselves have been calling
What are you
us
talking about? I
for
feel
well
pain.
over a decade
I feel
now.
pain every day,
Ironic,
dog.
isn't
And I
it?
just told you,
And
dog.
also, over here in the
What
U.S., the
excuse?
Senate rhinos, the Republicans in
What do you
name
mean,
only,
dog?
have just attempted to stage a party coup
I can't
against
fucking
President
move
Trump
from
and all
my
of us
fucking
MAGA
floor,
America
dog. What are
First
you
Republicans.
talking about?
The only problem for them, however, is
At
this.
least some fucking
Literally
people
no
can
one
fucking
supports
exercise, dude. I wish I
well,
could.
folks, we have a hell of a show ahead of us today. Do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow, subscribe, do it all. Find us on Instagram. Morris Report on Instagram. We're on X. We're on Rumble. We're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes podcasts, folks. Find us everywhere. It really does help a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, with that little introductory preamble out of the way, between you and me, I just want to hop right into the show because, like I said, boy howdy, we have a hell of a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about what is going on in the Middle East, perhaps even right this very moment. Ladies and gentlemen, right this very moment, we are getting report after report after report, all of which are indicating the exact same thing. The Iranian regime is about to get lit up like a 4th of July fireworks show in a never-before-seen way. Folks, take a look at this. Coming out this morning, a flurry of news. The Wall Street Journal reports President Trump has ordered the military to launch a fresh attack on Iran that could begin as soon as this weekend and last several days long. ABC says President Donald Trump is weighing a round of intense strikes on energy targets in Iran that could begin as soon as this weekend. Today is Saturday, by the way. NBC reports the United States and Israel are planning what would be one of the harshest bombing campaigns to date against energy infrastructure targets in Iran, with strikes possible throughout this weekend. Energy infrastructure, the harshest bombing campaign to date. CNN says this: the United States is planning fresh strikes on Iran as soon as this weekend. There has also been planning around options that would target energy sites. So it seems like the cat's out of the bag. Everybody's talking about energy strikes. President Trump is even alluding to this. Israel, 2 hours ago, has been placed on the highest state of alert possible, with senior political as well as security officials inside of Israel holding consultations throughout the weekend, according to Israel's Channel 12 News. Folks, there is a storm a-brewing. I can feel it in my bones. As they say, all hell is breaking loose. Breaking news also, a couple hours ago, U.S. embassies across the entirety of the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, everywhere. And now For the first time ever, even Egypt have just issued security alerts today urging Americans to depart immediately and to prepare for flight cancellations and airspace closures due to the massive new bombing campaign against Iran that is planned for this weekend, including strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure. So far, the U.S. strikes against Iranian energy infrastructure in particular have been pretty contained, pretty reserved. We haven't really been blowing that type of stuff up. Seems like the gloves are coming off imminently. Massive embassy messages. Get out of town, get out of the entire region, everywhere, even Egypt now. This is the first time that Egypt has been included with the immediate departure wording, in line with the other Middle Eastern countries, likely in fear of further
Dog, I
strikes
want to
following
see
the
the
Iranian attack
guitar
on a US-owned floating platform in
stream.
Egypt 3 days ago. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a statement from President Trump himself late last night. Take a listen to what he had to say.
So we'll see what happens. It's really bad to put it. I'm doing a much bigger job than I said I was going to do. I was going to go in and knock out the military, go in, go out. But then I realized if we do that, we have to have some form of maintenance. Otherwise, they'll rebuild. And the one reason I went in was Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
So, folks, coming from Trump last night, it sounds like the mission, the objective of this entire operation has expanded just a little bit. Initially, it was no nuclear weapons, shut down the nuclear weapons program. It was take out the entire Iranian military. Effectively, those tasks have generally been accomplished already. Trump now wants to expand the target list just a little bit. Seems like he's angling for a complete and total surrender. Complete and total surrender. Why might he now be sort of pivoting towards this new objective? If I had to take a guess here, pardon my language, it seems like President Trump is pissed off. Honestly, it seems like President Trump has lost his patience. He is sick of getting death threats and trash talked and snubbed by whatever the hell is left of the Iranian regime. Trump has extended to them olive branch after olive branch after olive branch. Let's make a deal. Let's operate in good faith. Let's have another round of discussions. Trump has sincerely tried. He has tried the diplomatic route with these people, and every single step of the way, they have spit in his face. I think that Trump is a little bit irritated. I think that Trump is a little bit pissed off. He said, okay, listen, initially the goal was no nuclear program, no military, no Navy. You guys know the deal, open up the Hormuz. Now it's like, all right, I'm fed up. Now all of you have to go. Now you're all gone. That seems to be the new angle. We have a more comprehensive report breaking down what we might expect over the next day and a half or 2 days.
Jim Hansen, former U.S. Army Special Forces and president of World Strat, joins us now.
Why,
So,
dog?
Jim, your thoughts about the president saying we're about to hit them back for 3 or 4 days. So what do you think the next phase is?
Nice.
Well, I don't want to argue with the president about naming conventions, but I kind of like Operation Epic Finale. It's time to finish this regime off. And it can't all be done by bombing. We can't bomb them out of power. But what we can do is create the conditions by destroying enough infrastructure and things they need to operate, and then applying, as I said, that epic squeeze where you've got the epic fury or the economic fury, and you do a land blockade and a sea blockade, because right now they're sneaking oil out of the country and selling it. So we need to stop all of those, debank them, seize their accounts, put every form of pressure on them to create conditions for a regime collapse that comes from inside, from the people of Iran.
Would you bring in the IDF?
I don't think the IDF or any other troops need to go in. That would be counterproductive. If we can make a deal in the short term to open the strait, get the oil flowing, and keep things operating, then good. But if we can't, it's time to honestly say that the Islamic Republic of Iran is past its expiration date, and we believe that the Iranian people deserve a chance to choose a better government.
So what do? Start bombing the Capitol? Start taking out the government buildings? I mean, we're already aiming for the IRGC headquarters, barracks, and things to that nature. What would you do to really shake this thing up?
they've got a target list. You know, the president and Secretary Hegseth were not going to give up the amount of time or timing when they were going to do it, but they obviously they have a list of regime leaders, it's mostly IRGC, who are entirely problematic and not going to be helpful in any way. And then you've got all the rest of the things to squeeze them economically. The regime will fall when its partners in crime who are selling and trading with it believe the IOUs they're getting now are not going to be good in the long term, because they don't have any cash to pay for things. Everybody's betting they'll be able to sell their oil at some point. When they lose faith in that, they'll lose faith in the regime, it'll start to crumble, and then we can have something that doesn't create trouble for everybody in the region and the world.
So you got about those 10 Iranian-affiliated militia groups in Iraq. They're bombing into Saudi Arabia. We know they're looking, the Iranians are going into Jordan, and they're also hit targets in Egypt. And now there's a loose alliance building among Gulf states to reopen the Red Sea and maybe strike back Iran. If you are U.S. command, if you're in U.S. command right now, what do we do with these motivated Gulf state allies?
And see, you just hit the nail on the head. This is a regional strategy that President Trump started in his first administration and then reinvigorated with his first trip overseas. He went to see the Qataris, Emiratis, and Saudis. And he told them, Iran's a problem, I'm gonna need your help for that. And he said, Gaza's a problem, I'm gonna help you with that. And all of this comes together. Now, Iran screwed up royally by attacking the Gulf states and solidifying that alliance. Now there's a counterweight to Iran in the region, and he's also done work with Turkey, who could also provide another counterweight. Then you've got people who will create a different economic and regional security balance. And then once again, Iran will not be the major player, and they certainly won't be the hegemon. Then all of their proxies will fall off by the wayside, and the regime can collapse, and we can move on from there.
So he raises a very curious point here. You know, right now there are some holdouts, IRGC diehard party loyalists still operating inside of Iran. It seems like they still harbor some hope that they're going to be able to weather this storm, weather this conflict, and come out the other end. And Trump is going to get bored.
You gotta settle down there, dog.
Going to go back to conducting their internal affairs inside of Iran, as if none of this ever happened.
You're getting out of line,
Seems
boy.
Like some of Iran's sort of pseudo allies, maybe just outright allies, Russia, China. Maybe they've been giving military assistance to Iran. It seems like they, Russia, China, otherwise, are holding out similarly some hope that Iran will pull through this, that they're going to outlast Trump's bombing campaign.
Whoa, dog. You've got
kind of
5 subscribers.
Continue getting all their oil from Iran as they were. So what Trump seems to be doing here is setting up, angling for...
You got a fucked up Achilles, a fucked up scapula, a fucked up shoulder, a fucked up spine. You must be so grateful, dog.
We've had a bunch of targets here inside of Iran that we have been pumping the brakes on. We didn't go too hard. We know where a lot of these bunkers are. These IRGC leaders, political leaders, Galibaf, Pezeshkian, and otherwise. A lot of this energy infrastructure, maybe we might be talking about Karg Island. Okay, you know what? Now the stuff is on the table. Now we are going to start blowing this stuff up, because now it is time to crush whatever hope they had left. Send the message. There is no
nothing, dude.
To normal.
Why the fuck are you asking me questions, dude?
10 months ago, before any of this even started. No. Normal is gone. That's not.
This guy's not playing as Chikaris Targaryen, dog.
Just crush whatever hope they have left and bomb them into complete and total submission. President Trump, he's being a little bit ominous.
He's playing as low-talk whore, dude. What a fucking
This is 9 months ago. President Trump posts this image on Truth Social. This is a U.S. fighter jet appearing to hint this might be sort of an illusion.
Damn, dog.
Possible attack on Iran. Everybody's talking about
Gotta
that
withdraw the credits.
Literally, perhaps any minute now. Trump is posting this. What's more, Trump froze a massive attack on Iran's infrastructure
That's
last
not
week
good,
and is
dog.
now considering ordering CENTCOM, that's the U.S. military, to carry it out. So they've got the battle plans. Trump came close to pulling the trigger, or rather giving the order maybe a week ago. You know they've got all the targets loaded in. Trump said, okay, you know what? Hold off, pump the brakes. I don't know, maybe we can work out a deal. Maybe there's something left to talk about here. And now, this weekend, this is what everybody's talking about. We've been talking about Bridge and Power Plant Day for a very long time. It might be complete and total destination. We're talking about lights out, for perhaps the entire country. That is what we are on the cusp of. China's holding out hope. China says, well, listen, maybe we can continue selling weapons and shoulder-mounted surface-to-air missile interceptors, rockets, to the Iranians, because maybe Iran is going to be able to weather the storm here, outlast President Trump, at which point in China they're going to keep getting their oil back. Trump is obviously not going to let that happen, folks. I give you my personal opinion here, whatever that's worth. I think we're going to be talking about Karg Island here in the next couple of days. I would suspect some pretty serious action on Karg Island. Whether or not it is a U.S. seizure of the island, meaning we are taking it, or just blowing the entire damn island up. Saying, listen, all right, nobody gets oil. Oh, China, you want oil? You want people buying oil from Iran and selling them weapons and propping up their jihadist regime? No. Now nobody gets the oil. Sorry, you should have listened to us. I have a feeling there's going to be some crazy action here. It could be this evening, could be tomorrow. Folks, whatever happens, we're going to be here covering it. All hell is about to break loose in the Middle East. The one thing we can be certain of, whatever happens next, you know President Trump will continue to put America first.
You gotta believe in yourself, dog.
This is kind of the calm before the storm. Everybody is sitting here on the edge of their seat. Okay.
You gotta fucking believe.
Something is coming here, so what's it gonna be? Any minute now, folks. Now, do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe. Go find us on Instagram. We recently have started launching our Instagram videos. Morse Report, that helps us on Instagram, on Rumble, and on YouTube. MorseReport.com. Everything is there. Folks, we have another massive story here. And we're going to get right into this. This one really is...
Dog. Can I get some Lego, dog?
A terrible prediction. Like, you predict something terrible, is what I mean, and then it comes true. And then you
give me 10,000 peace.
I told you. Okay, this is one of those moments. It's not all of us have been saying this, and we're going to talk about it now. The complete and total communist takeover of the Democrat Party. This is not your grandpappy's Democrat Party anymore, folks. No, it's not. Let's get into the story.
Gotta light some incense.
Ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning, the communist takeover of the Democrat Party is officially complete. You know how the Democrats have been calling all of us Donald Trump supporters, all of us Republicans, threats to democracy for really about a decade now? Well, guess what? As of this morning, the current 2028 Democrat presidential frontrunner, that is, yes, Kamala Harris, has just come out today campaigning on ripping apart our republic and all of the democratic institutions therein. Seriously, folks, the clip I am about to play for you is going to blow your mind. This is Kamala Harris. Listen.
We need to revisit the Electoral College. We need to revisit the point of expanding the court to 13 justices like we have 13 district courts. We need to revisit, if they so want, statehood for Puerto Rico and D.C. If we regain control of the Senate, I served on this committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, when I was in the Senate. Only the Senate.
You have a multiple monitor setup, right?
Don't care.
And the Senate.
Do you know how to get like a different background for each monitor?
Create rules for its committee that don't have to go to the whole Senate for a vote.
Fuck.
And worry about filibustering all We need to.
So, folks, she says if we're going to get back power, we get the Senate, we're going to nuke the filibuster. We're going to eliminate the Electoral College. We're going to expand the Supreme Court. We are going to make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states. Folks, the Democrats, they have lost the game, really the competition of democracy. Nobody wants anything that they are selling. We're not buying what they are selling. So the Democrat response, rather than, I don't know, adopt a more reasonable pro-America platform, rather than moderate their political platform and try to appeal to actual Americans, no, instead, they are now trying to change the rules. They said, well, we can't win the Electoral College. We're going to get rid of the Electoral College. Well, we can't win in the Supreme Court. We're going to pack the Supreme Court. They said, well, we can't win in the Senate. We can't win in the House of Representatives. We're going to make D.C. and Puerto Rico states and pack the Senate and pack the House with more far-left senators and House reps. We can't do what we want in the Senate, even after we take control. Well, we're going to nuke the filibuster. Folks, they can't win the game, so they're flipping over the board. They want to change the rules. Now, for those of you that are smart, and for those of you that have been paying attention, you say, wow, this is Kamala Harris. She was just a Democrat candidate. She was the top Democrat in the country, and now she's the front runner for 2028. She's talking about this stuff. Where is she getting her talking points? Well, folks, from the DSA, from the Democrat Socialists of America. All of these talking points sound a little bit familiar, don't they? Don't they? These are talking points from the Democrat Socialists of America, otherwise known as the American Communist Party. Take a listen to what the DSA co-chair said 4 days ago.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish
Please use all products only as intended.
True.
Be well.
Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep. Abolish ICE. Absolutely. Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally. As a long-term plan, yep. Defund the Pentagon. Absolutely. Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that is part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to...
Folks, just to be perfectly clear, these are talking points that have originated from the DSA, the American Communist Party. This is not some fringe group that has no influence. Oh, who cares? They're just a bunch of far-left nut jobs. Doesn't matter. Folks, Kamala Harris is now parroting, she's pushing forward these communist anti-American talking points. It's so ironic because we have been told that we are the threats to democracy, Trump and all of his supporters for a decade now. Folks, they are now literally talking about destroying our American republic and the democratic institutions therein. That is their platform, to rip it all apart because they can't win. How insane is this? In fact, it's gotten so bad, ladies and gentlemen, you've got left-wing talk show host Bill Maher chiming in and he's saying, listen, I did not sign up for this. These people are out of their effing mind. Take a listen.
This crowd literally wants to get rid of our form of government, the Senate, but also, and I quote, replace the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress. Yeah, no biggie. Just taking the very essence of our government, which is 3 branches checking each other and shit-canning 2.5 of them. Who could be this nuts? I'll tell you who. Morons who are still wearing COVID masks in 2026. This photo is from the DSA meeting in Denver 3 weeks ago. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Since the far left, the far, far left, is overwhelmingly made up of affluent, ultra-woke white people, you raised your kids wrong. You told your precious brats that every brain fart was genius, and now those brain farts are becoming Democratic Party policy.
Now, Bill Maher, you can tell, at his core, spiritually, he is still a member of the far left. You know he cannot help himself but blame. Who did he blame for all of this? Stupid left-wing white people. his anti-white racism still is shining through. Let me ask you a question. Is the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, really the modern-day Communist Party, is this party, is this movement on the far left generally composed of white people? No, of course not. Of course you've got a couple, but no, generally it's a bunch of third world communists that have invaded our country. Seriously, go look at any of these town hall meetings where they show up and advocate. Go look at any of their rosters, their political platform. You're going to see a lot of very foreign, non-traditional names, okay? Our country has been invaded, and now this is the consequence. They have brought their third world ideology with them. It is a foreign, non-American ideology that seeks to destroy this country from the inside. So he's wrong. You want to talk about anti-white racism? Well, let me show you something. You're not going to believe this. This is right now the front runner. This is an individual named Francesca Hong is her name. Front runner for governor, Democrat governor in Wisconsin. Here she is. Okay, people have been, look at this. She has a 96% chance of becoming the Democrat gubernatorial nominee in Wisconsin. 96% chance. She's running the show. Well, a bunch of her messages have been going public. She herself is saying, abolish the Senate. So this is not some French thing. Everybody's talking about it. She says this, white male chefs, before you sign up for charity gigs and shit that's going to give you good press, first look around the room and check if there is someone that you haven't shared a meal with, doesn't have the same genitals, or has nicer skin than you. This is as anti-white as you can possibly be. Dear white male chefs, before you try to take credit for doing something charitable, maybe look to the left and right and see if you can find a brown or female person to actually give the credit to, even if you're the one being charitable. Francesca Hong is her name. She goes on to say this, breaking, leading candidate for Wisconsin Governor Francesca Hong, anti-white tweets exposed. Kiddo, why are you eating dad's chicken bones? Me, because I'm not white. For real though, it's alarming how differently we consume chicken drumsticks. Because white people are too stupid to eat chicken, I guess. He says this, my 2-year-old looked eating dad's chicken bones. Me, because I'm not white. For real though, it's alarming how differently we consume chicken drumsticks. Because white people are too stupid to eat chicken, I guess. He says this, my 2-year-old looked at this chorizo stuffed chicken Valentine and asked me for, quote, white hot sauce. Apparently, that's what he calls ranch dressing now. I gotta tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If your 2-year-old is using racial stereotypes, I think that's probably on you. A 2-year-old is not inventing the term white hot sauce, referencing ranch dressing. This is something that you, anti-white racist Francesca Hong, have Falls in Black River Falls and told him they ran out of ice cream. Mostly, I just wanted to leave, though, because I was on the verge of an anxiety attack. There were too many old white people who thought we didn't speak English. So just being around old white people, hospitalization, being around white people gives her anxiety attacks. She has a history of self-harm. and she attempted to overdose on lithium. And once again,
Yeah, fucking crazy people, dude.
once again, by the way, this is not some random nobody. She is the
It's not surprising.
current Democrat gubernatorial frontrunner
Well,
in the state of
it's
Wisconsin.
like I said,
There's a 96%
you can
chance
present him with it,
of
but he'll
becoming
dismiss it.
the
So
Democrat
there's no
nominee.
point.
Now, let's put all this into perspective here.
blocking China. The New York Post reporting, quote, members of Mamdani's DSA pledged to support and defend China. The pledge says, quote, survival of Chinese socialism is a crucial matter. Socialists' other promises, government subsidized housing, free college, Medicare for all, and a shorter work week, and abolishing ICE. Among other things, Hugh Hewitt, host of The Hugh Hewitt Show and Fox News contributor. Hugh, welcome to you. Good to have you on this morning. Now they're calling to support and defend China. How is it that this group, Democrat socialists, are getting this kind of support? This new CNN poll, I'll put it up on the screen, shows that a third of Democrats now identify as Democrat socialists.
And if you want to be a good Democrat socialist, you have to swear your loyalty, not to America, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. If you want to be a good Democrat socialist of America, really a communist, you have to promise, you have to swear an oath never to criticize a foreign government known as the Chinese Communist Party. You need to swear allegiance to them. What do you think? You think Francesca Hung has sworn allegiance to the CCP? This individual who seems to really have a problem with white people, seems to hate white people. Really, all of these Democrats these days, all of these Democrat socialists, their entire ideology is familiar, don't they? Don't they? These are talking points from the Democrat Socialists of America, otherwise known as the American Communist Party.
Apparently I'm falling into some kind of trap by just asking questions, though. I don't suspect you'll get very far by presenting him new information. It was such a stupid thing to say. Yeah, like I literally told him like half the shit you guys were talking about in the chat I don't even know, like I'm not even aware. But apparently, because I'm pressing him on, well, what the fuck do you mean, like, when it comes to a border policy? Like, it's like, if you're gonna criticize Brock or Trump or whoever, then I assume you have an alternative that's different from what they're doing that's supposedly better. So I'm gonna obviously fucking ask you questions like, okay, so then what are you gonna do that's so different? And then, you know, he basically says more or less what they're already doing, which is just like, okay, well then what the fuck, like, how's your position any different than what fucking Brock is saying? Like, yeah, it's like strengthen the border. I'm like, okay, well, what does that look like in reality? Like, are you gonna say Trump building a wall is not part of that picture? It's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, what does that look like for you? Well, I don't know. It's like, as soon as I start asking him, then he's like, yeah, you know what, Brandon, I think you're right, we're just not gonna agree. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not even taking a stance, I'm just fucking asking you questions, and then you want to stop the conversation or derail it. It's just like, well, what the fuck are you doing?
I accept all forms of currency. Thank you for your patronage. I accept all forms of currency. Thank you for your patronage.
Call it a hammerhead dog. Whoa. Wonder why evolution decided that was a good look. Nice. Fucking cut off their eye. Like apart from maybe like Caraxes and Damon, I don't really care too much about the other relationships with the dragons. Oh, fuck, dude. Dude. Okay. I love you. Roof.
prevent President Trump from confirming Todd Blanche as our new Attorney General. He's been doing a great job so far. And oh yeah, by the way, they are doing this at the behest of their very good rhino friend, their leader. His name is John Thune. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and break all this down. Take a look. Just in this morning, Trump has now threatened to keep Todd Blanche as acting Attorney General and revive the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund if the Senate blocks his confirmation of Todd Blanche. So Trump wants Todd Blanche to be confirmed in the Senate. You need 50 senators to confirm Todd Blanche as the new Attorney General. Some of the rhinos, they're holding out. They're saying, we don't want to do it. And they don't even have a good reason. It is just pure anti-Trump hate and spite of Trump and his movement and really this country. They're saying, well, we don't want to do it because why? Because F you, Trump. That's why. Rhinos, traitors. They're also not a fan of Trump's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. What is this? Well, you might remember during the Joe Biden auto pen era, the auto pen administration, Joe Biden's DOJ, his FBI, his CIA, they were weaponizing every single thing they possibly could to hunt down and criminally prosecute patriotic, Trump-supporting Americans. Many of whom faced,
does your keyboard have just one FN key, or does it have multiple?
Many of these Americans that were wrongfully prosecuted during the Biden auto pen regime to the tune of $1.8 billion in total, distributed amongst all of these Americans that actually did face this type of persecution during the Biden era.
So you know, like at the bottom of the keyboard, if there's like Alt Control, like where Alt Control are, is there like an FN button? Yeah, you only have just the one? Yeah.
They don't want the sort of reimbursement for these Americans that actually were wronged by the DOJ during the Biden era. Trump releases a statement. He says, if Senators Cornyn and Tillis, both upset because I wouldn't endorse them, they lost and quit, respectively, if they're not going to approve Todd Blanche, one of the most respected professionals according to everybody in the country, to be the United States Attorney General, then guess what? I will keep Todd Blanche as acting Attorney General and push hard to get the anti-weaponization bill, which takes care of those who have been so badly treated by crooked Joe Biden and Obama. Trump says, I get nothing, although I was treated horribly as well. He wants to get this passed. He says, Todd Blanche was a voice of reason. It will immediately be back on the table, this anti-weaponization fund, and I will get it done. Thank you for this attention to this matter. Trump actually cares about all of us Americans that were wronged by left-wing judicial and federal tyranny. Trump actually cares. Trump is trying to, he doesn't have to do this, he's trying to do a solid for some of the J6ers and others. And the rhinos and the Democrats are trying to shut it down. Look at this. Meanwhile, John Thune is really the puppet master of these two rhino senators. He is currently on vacation. Maybe he's back home. He's at the county fair. Look at that. John Thune is at the county fair, shaking hands. While chaos unfolds in D.C., John Thune is at the county fair, maybe back in South Dakota. Does it look like anybody here likes him? Look at this beautiful woman and handsome man in the background. They're looking up at John Thune like, hey, dude, that's great you're at the county fair. Why have you not passed the Save America Act? Not even the people back home in his home state like this guy. Is anybody here happy to have him at this county fair? Of course not. Do these guys have smiles on their face? No, it's like, hey, listen, guy, all we want you to do is pass the Save America Act. Come on, what are you doing? Instead, John Thune is doing every single thing he can to undermine and to subvert Trump's America First agenda. Trump says this about Todd Blanche.
But I'll tell you something, Todd Blanche is a very, very good man, and he shouldn't be in the middle of this. He should get approved, because you will never get anybody like him. You're never going to get anybody. And to make him a pawn in this whole thing, this is being done by a senator. And I don't really blame him, to be honest with you. I endorsed his opponent. And as soon as I endorsed his opponent went through the roof and he won the primary election in Texas for the Senate. And the man that lost, the man that I didn't endorse, has become very angry, and that's okay. I mean, I understand that. I probably would do the same thing. You want to know the truth? I think I'd do the same thing. But I'll tell you something.
Trump says, you know what? Hey, maybe I do the same thing, but the point is, this is just pure spite. It's Cornyn and it's Tillis. This is just pure anti-Trump spite, and they're throwing, attempting to throw Blanche under the bus here, screwing him over, making him a pawn in this entire situation. And it's so sad here because Todd Blanche has, frankly, genuinely done such a great job so far as the acting Attorney General. 1, he created the National Fraud Enforcement Division. 2, largest healthcare fraud takedown in department history, in the entire DOJ history. 3, he expanded the fight against Medicare and Medicaid fraud after the $90 million Minnesota fraud takedown. 4, he secured 6 fraud convictions involving more than $1.1 billion in less than 3 weeks. 5, he cleared the backlog of immigration cases, allowing for mass deportations. He filed an historic number of denaturalization cases. He has secured major anti-DEI wins against IBM and PayPal. He ended the EEOC's disparate impact regime. He secured 450 years of prison time for Antifa members involved in terrorist attacks against ICE. That is a big one. All of this stuff is huge. Number 10, he's prosecuted the Southern Poverty Law Center for secretly funneling millions of dollars to the KKK and to neo-Nazis. So, folks, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, he's doing a great job, might I add. A little bit of a better job than his predecessor, Pam Bondi. I'm a little bit more of a fan of Todd Blanchard. No, he's doing a damn fine job. Let's get this guy confirmed in the Senate. We can't because we've got a bunch of pissed off rhinos that are, like I said, doing every single thing they can to try to undermine Trump, undermine his mandate, undermine the America First agenda, subvert this republic before they finally lose their power once and for all. Because both of these individuals, these 2 rhinos, guess what? They're gone in 5 months. They get to ride out the rest of their term, but come early January, they're gone. They both have been kicked to the curb. They're trying to take everything down with them. Crabs in a bucket. It really is terrible. Look at this stuff. We've had some patriots across the country rise up in defense of Todd Blanche. 23 state attorney generals issued a statement, a joint statement this morning from 23 individual states, said this: we, the undersigned state attorneys general, write to express our strong support for the nomination of Todd Blanche to serve as the next Attorney General of the United States. The Attorney General occupies one of the most consequential positions in our constitutional system. As the chief law enforcement officers of our states, we recognize that the office demands principled leadership, effective management of a vast law enforcement enterprise, fidelity to the rule of law, and a commitment to protecting public safety. We are confident that Mr. Blanche is the right person at the right time. We urge the Senate to swiftly confirm Todd Blanche as the United States Attorney General. We look forward to working alongside him to uphold the Constitution, protect our communities, and ensure equal justice under the law. So, folks, his confirmation, Todd Blanche's confirmation here in the Senate, making him into the Attorney General of the United States, this is not a controversial proposition. He's well liked. Everybody respects him. Everybody knows he's done a good job. It's these 2 individual rhino senators, Cornyn and Tillis, that are having a hissy fit. They're pouting around like a bunch of pissy toddlers that missed their nap time. I'll tell you something here. How vindicating is it? We got rid of both these guys. They're gone in 5 months. One of them got bullied out. Tillis got bullied out. He's retiring. Cornyn actually got replaced. He lost his primary. We pushed both these rhinos out. When they're pulling stunts like this, really putting our country at risk by nature of not having a confirmed Attorney General, making our country a weaker, less productive place, how vindicating is it that we made the right decision in the process of getting rid of these two rhinos. As if there was any doubt. Well, did we make the right decision by getting rid of these two guys? They're pulling stunts like this after the fact, totally vindicated. It was the correct decision to get rid of these guys. Folks, the era of the rhino is coming to an end. Thank God. That is what it's going to take if we truly want to put America first. Folks, our three big stories for the day. All hell is breaking out in Iran here. In fact, before we take a look at super chats, I don't know. Hey, the bombs might be flying or dropping any minute. I'm going to take a little bit of I'm going to take it just a second here. I'm going to do a quick scan. I see this report 34 minutes ago. The U.S. is planning to cut off all electricity across Tehran. That's the biggest city in Iran. Like we said, lights out. That's one of these reports I'm seeing right here. Any other breaking news updates I'm getting right now? Israel is on maximum high alert. Seems like they are getting ready to go as well. Folks, it could be literally any minute now. It could be Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. You are tuning into the Morris Report, and boy howdy, I will tell you what, we really have a lot to talk about today. Ladies and gentlemen, first off, something very curious, very strange has just taken place over in the Middle East that right now sort of has everyone scratching their heads and sitting on the edge of their seat. We're going to break it all down. Also, over here in the United States, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just gone scorched earth on, well, pretty much everyone, actually. The CCP, the Cuban regime, the far-left rioters here in the United States, European globalists. Rubio is done playing games. We're going to break it all down. Lots to talk about. What's more, folks, does anybody here remember President Trump's executive order from a couple of months ago that was...
Would you say Trump has delivered on most of his promises? Look at what he said to me during that convo last night. Like, this is what he said. Like, he used this as like a way to like negate all the questions I was asking him. I just found it funny. It's like first off, buddy, like, I'm not on Trump's side or fucking your side. Like, and you're just making a bunch of claims that aren't backed up by anything. It's like, okay, it's just your feelings at that point. And see if he's delivered on any of it. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm pretty sure he's delivered on at least a few, like you said. And then look at this other message he sent. I swear, like when he talked to you, he was like less stupid than Arvind about this, if this is what he's talking about. He's less fucking crazy or less stupid than Arvind when it comes to this thing that he messaged me. I just sent it to you. On Discord. Just removing all the context. He already said he wasn't against ICE. Like I got at least got that out of him.
Arrived at your destination.
And this next message that I sent you, I just think this is funny because isn't this literally what they're doing? See, like, I got him to say that. Like, I'm not against that. It's just like, well, then why all the fucking fuss? Like, why are you creating a fucking mess about it? That's what they're already doing. Yeah. No, it's just very strange. It just seems like he's back and forth with everything. Hmm.
Mail-in voter fraud, these mail-in ballots. Well, today, folks, we just got an absolutely massive update that I have a feeling all of you are going to like. Lots to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, podcasts. We're on Instagram, Morse Report. We're on X, Morse Report. We're on Facebook, Morse Report. MorseReport.com. You can find us everywhere. You have no excuse not to. Folks, let's get right into the show because we really do have a lot to talk about. So let's cut the jib jab here, okay? With your permission, and just go ahead and get right into this because as far as Sundays go, well, it's actually a pretty eventful day. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, late last night, President Trump had his finger on the trigger. He was just moments away, in fact, from wiping the Iranian regime off of the face of the earth. But then, at the last moment, something astounding happened, folks. We have a lot to talk about today. Let's get right into it. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. First off, the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is his name. Overnight, agreed to a Qatari-U.S. compromise to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, prompting U.S. President Donald Trump to call off his planned retaliatory strikes. And these are the strikes we were talking about yesterday, where it sounded like this was going to pretty much be doomsday for the Iranians. Trump was planning on blowing up pretty much all of their energy infrastructure, their power plants, etc., bridges, water desalination plants. Rumor had it that he was going to be blowing up so many power plants, so many components of the Iranian energy infrastructure, that he was going to actually blip off all the lights in Tehran. Lights out for Tehran. That's what we were talking about yesterday. Well, it seems like perhaps, a late-night deal has been struck. President Trump posted this message last night. He said, "The United States of America is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran at levels of military clarity, strength, and power not seen since World War II," is what he says. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran, as well as other Middle Eastern countries, to hold off any attack in that the perimeters of a deal have been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening.
I don't know, it's just like he, I don't know, like, at least when it comes to like that immigration discussion, it's like, it feels like he doesn't understand that I understand that illegal immigrants can be good people, right? But I keep reiterating to him, two things can be true at once.
Rapidly make a deal. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So it seems as if perhaps we are once again on the cusp of a deal.
Yeah, you called that, dude. call it anchor babies, right? They call it like an anchor baby, right? What? Yeah, I remember that. Probably gonna be called a bigot for saying that shit. It's funny how he also said, oh, well, I don't know what's going on in Europe, so I'd rather talk about the US. It's like, dude, you can extrapolate what's going on in Europe and map it onto the US. It's not that hard. What would you say, like if I, let's say I brought up, oh, like how the Muslims, they're not going to be tolerant of like LGBT, all that, and then let's say he responds, well, Christians aren't really tolerant of them too. What would you say to that? How would you rebuttal that? Seems, yeah, go ahead. Well, I remember he also brought up like, oh, well, in America, they're only 2%, but it's like, I'm looking here, it's like Muslims make up about 6.5% of the population of England and Wales, so it doesn't have to be like a fucking overwhelming percentage for it to wreak havoc. It's a fucking moron. Oh yeah. seeing that 250,000. They're saying that that's not the right number. I don't know how they would know that. It's literally in the rape inquiry report. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah. Yeah. Spain is being enriched right now, right? Yeah. Apparently, I don't know. I have to ask you questions as well. Otherwise, he thinks it's like a 2-on-1 or some shit. It's just like I told him, like, yeah. And I told him, like, I've had the benefit of hearing your position, like Brock's position, because obviously I talked to him a lot more. And if his positions more or less align with what's already going on with Trump, and you're the one criticizing Brock's position, I'm going to assume you have some better alternative. So that's why I'm going to ask you questions, how you would do it. For whatever reason, he thinks, oh, that's me taking a side. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like, do you just want to, like, fucking call him an idiot and say, you know, he's wrong without providing a better alternative? It's like, how do you think a fucking debate works? It's like, I'm not claiming to be on any one side. I just want to know, okay, well, if you have it all figured out, enlighten us. And then he ends up saying the shit that they're already doing, so it's just like, whatever, man.